Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
the weaker vessel.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
What's up?
Oh, not much. Just getting ready for the day.
Same.
You know how it goes. So.
Yep. It's a ponytail kind of day for me.
Oh, I'm doing a ponytail too. Look for little twinsies. But you know what though? I have a confession. If anybody has a tip for this, like, let me know.
Okay.
I wish my ponytail looked as good at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day. By the end of the day, I get like all these like little flyaways in the front and stuff. And it doesn't matter if I redo it, it just never stays as pretty. And it drives me nuts.
Is this a new sensation? Like, is this like baby hair? Like,
I think so. It's either baby hair or old hair. I'm not for sure. It might be a combination of both.
Maybe the two, lend to each other.
I feel like, when your grandma, like okay, so my grandmother had.
You're not quite that old. You're not a grandma yet.
No, but I kind of feel like, so like when my grandmother had children very young, and then my mother had children very young. So like my grandmother was a young grandmother. Okay. So before I make this statement, I just want to say that, but I can remember my grandmother talking about how she got older, like she was getting grandma hair. It was like starting to get like a curl to it and stuff. Like, have you ever heard of that? Like, as you get older, your hair gets like curly.
Huh, no, I haven't.
Well, I mean, my grandmother told me all kinds of things. Some were true, some weren't. So there's no telling.
This is true. Hold on, because this is a side story, 2-year story, but it needs to be shared. When I first met Sondra, I think I was painting her nails, and she was like, "Do you want me to lick them to see if they're dry?" And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Do you want me to lick them to see if they're dry?" And I was like, "Why would you lick them?" She's like, like my grandmother told me that if you lick your nails, you'll be able to tell if they're wet or dry. And I was like, what?
It's because anything she said, I never questioned. I like had, and I still do have such a love for my grandma that she could have like obviously told me to lick wet nails and you'll know whether they're wet or dry. And I just did it. Never thought anything of, oh, okay, yeah, makes sense. Never thought why or anything, nothing. Just did it. And then Erica's like, well, of course.
Hold on. I think you cut out there for a second, girl. What'd you say?
You said and then,
she always told me something, and then you cut out.
Well, she would just tell me things, and I just took it for what it was. Like, it didn't matter what she told me. Yeah, grandma told me, so that's the truth. And there were some things she told me that were true and very wise, and there's some things I think she just told me because I would just listen to anything she said. And obviously, this was the case. I never stopped to think about why. I just did it.
She was just trying to see if you would survive in the wild, and she probably questioned it at some point when you were licking your wet fingernails.
I know, like obviously they're wet. That's why you can tell, because you're eating fingernail polish, you dork.
What I really want to know is how often you did that. Like, did you ever actually get like a lick of good nail polish?
I mean, I never got like a clump. I would just be like, oh yeah, you can taste it a little bit. Yep, it's still wet. Never thought, hey, you're eating fingernail polish. Why was grandma telling you this? I mean, she told me all kinds of things. She told me, eat roast beef for lunch because it has caffeine in it, And I argued that. I would argue that,
Oh, that is so funny.
Purple clover was honeysuckle. The white clover was just clover. Go try to, pull out one little single thing of clover and suck the honey out of it. I mean, we would sit out there for hours doing it as kids. Until we
really, she was just sick of you.
I know. We'd come and be like, Grandma, you cannot do that. Like we have done. She's like, no, you're not doing it right. Just keep trying. You'll get it. Okay. We'd go back out, sit out in the yard, picking clovers.
Did she also like pick up a blade of grass and like use it for a whistle and be like, see, everything I tell you is true. Now go suck that honeysuckle.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Just enough evidence to make you believe her, and then she sends you back out. That's so funny.
No, I mean, obviously she knew exactly. She probably had herself some good chuckles. And then there were things that were, wise that she would tell us, like when I had, the kids. she'd be like, listen, babies cry. And if you're tired, it doesn't hurt a baby to cry for 5 minutes.
Right.
So lay them in the crib, as long as they're safe and they're good, close the door, walk away, breathe. Sometimes they're tired.
What are those videos called? Like not the color purple, that's a movie, isn't it? But like,
Yeah,
what is it? Talking about the ones that make you watch in the nursery?
Oh yeah. So you don't shake your baby?
Yeah.
Shake your baby? Yeah. No, but yeah. So there was like, because I can remember her calling me and I'm upset because the baby's upset and I haven't slept for days and baby hasn't hardly slept for days, and she'd be like, "You're not a bad mom. Just put the baby down. Walk away. Like he'll fall asleep. He'll fall asleep. Just let him. You just got to kind of train him and." Oh, all the good things a grandmother should know. Try this, do this, and all the things. And like,
I mean, my grandmother's wisdom included, if your baby's teething, you could use blackberry brandy, and that will numb their teeth. Which, I mean, honestly, if you're putting straight blackberry brandy on someone's gums, who wouldn't that numb?
Right? I'm just saying.
I mean, she's not wrong.
My grandmother
do the trick.
My grandmother would have said, don't give the baby the blackberry brandy, but maybe you need a couple drinks of it.
Oh yeah, in Wisconsin, everyone's having a little sipperoo here and there.
What's up?
Naomi.
Naomi's not doing what she's supposed to?
Yes, she was. That's what I was wanting to tell you a minute ago.
She was doing what she's.
No, she was too.
Okay, but she is now?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're just gonna let it be. Thank you, though.
Got to clarify.
And what do you?
She wasn't.
What do you know? Grandma's words of wisdom still work. The baby is officially asleep in his crib.
Praise him.
The first time for daytime nap. I think this is like the second time we've got it to happen, but pretty far apart. Oh, he's a tough one. Anyway, so we're just getting the house together, and don't lick your fingernail polish to find out if it's dry or not. Unless you want people to make fun of you.
I will never not make fun of you for that one. It's just too good.
I can't even blame you for it. It's true, because I can remember leaving your house and just be like, I am so stupid. Why did I never question that one?
And here we are, still friends 8 years later. So maybe your grandma this is how she bonded us.
Right. You got to be able to laugh at yourself too and just be like, wow, I trusted that one way too much. She's up there laughing right now. She's like, that's funny.
That is funny. Okay. We got a lot of snow over the weekend. A lot meaning, maybe 3 inches. So that's a lot for November, I think.
Oh, 3 inches? Yeah, that's a lot. And wait till December comes. If you're getting 3 inches in November, it's going to be really...
Sadly, I don't think it's going to stick around though, because we're supposed to be above freezing by the end of the day. So, but it's kind of nice, and I kind of like in November when you get the little tasting of what's to come, because it kind of prepares your heart for what's to come. And it's beautiful, and you can enjoy it because it's not going to stay around indefinitely. And I don't know, it's one of my favorite things, the first snow. I just love it every year. And
it's been colder here too, so I made a big pot of chicken and dumplings last night for dinner.
Nice.
Because I was like, that'll be good when my husband comes in from the cold to eat. He'll be happy to have that.
Indeed. Did you have any misadventures?
No, not really.
Any injuries?
No, no. We just had Henry had no injuries.
Making your.
Oh yeah, no, I did.
It's just me trying to get Sondra to share a story, and I'm like, no, I know you did. Share it.
I've already moved past it in my mind. No, so I was making chicken dumplings, and this was actually my first time I've ever made it by myself. So that was pretty exciting. I was pretty excited about that. Anyway, so I was making it, and I used quarters for it. And so I had to cook the meat, So it's like falling off the bones, and then separate it and put it back in the pot. So by the time, we didn't record yesterday, which we normally do. Henry had physical therapy. And so I was home. By the time I got home, like I'm like trying to get things ready for when my husband gets home, make sure everything's in order, get the dinner ready. So I'm like moving, and I'm not paying attention. I'm just not thinking things all the way through. Imagine that after you heard the story about me licking fingernail polish. And I think we have a theme happening here. Anyways, so I am cooking, and I separate the meat, I throw it back in, I get my carrots and my celery in there, and I get it boiled, like it's rumbling. The last thing I have to do is throw the dumplings in. But I think, oh, I need to taste the broth to make sure I don't need to add any more salt or seasoning or anything. So I take it, I just scoop it up, and I just shove it in my mouth, and I'm like, ah! Like, oh my goodness, and scorched my mouth really good. My kids are like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm okay. And I'm thinking in my mind, I am not okay at all.
I'm not okay.
Anyways, the broth tasted good, so that was great. And we made the dumplings. The first one, I had to add a little bit more seasoning to my dumplings, because you add some seasoning. And the way I was taught, anyways, you add seasoning to the dumplings. And by the time I made the second batch of dumplings to go in there, it was good. And I did like a 12-quart pot. My husband's gonna have to have knee surgery, and so I wanted to get a couple meals put back in the freezer, for that. So I was able to put, let that, after dinner, we let the extras cool, and we're gonna freeze the leftover. We did freeze the leftovers, and now we'll have some good meals put back. I got like two meals out of it, because 2 more meals, so we'll have 2 meals of that put back. Yep. So that'll be nice.
When is he having his surgery? Do you know yet? Do you have a date?
We do not know. I believe he's meeting with his doctor sometime this week, the surgeon.
Okay.
And then they'll go from there. He had one surgery on this knee, and they screwed it up. And so he's had to go back in. He had to have a surgery on it to take out everything they did to it, and then this surgery will be the one to fix it, hopefully.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we're just waiting so he has to meet with them to make sure everything that they've already done on that last surgery is healed up and they're ready to go back in. It's been he's just, poor man, he's just like, I'm so over this.
I don't blame him.
So but I'm like, with the baby and the kids and having him down during, for the surgery, I'm like, it'd probably be just smart to get a couple meals put back just in case.
Right.
On those hard days where, he's whining.
I think it's smart. It's always good to have something in the freezer anyway.
Yep.
But it really is nice.
Yeah, if we don't use it for that, we'll just use it for some of the busyness in this season, and pull it out and be like, there you go.
Right.
So anyways,
if someone shows up randomly during the holiday season and you didn't have anything prepared for dinner, just pull it out.
Exactly. So I was pretty excited, because since it was my first time doing it, I was pretty proud, except for the fact that I, scorched the whole inside of my mouth, and I'm pretty sure it's all going to be peeling soon.
That's really the worst. Were you able to enjoy it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, were you able to actually get the fullness of the enjoyment of the meal with your mouth all torn apart?
Well, I waited until it was pretty much cooled all the way. And then I sat down and ate it with it cool, and I was like, this is great. And we just had my son's birthday party, my middle son. And so my husband was like, who wants ice cream? Because I told him about it. I was like, me. I want some of that leftover ice cream from my mouth.
It's not a want, it's a need. I need ice cream.
And then I was just like, oh my goodness, this feels so good. I should have just held ice cubes in my mouth. I had a good rumble. It was not my smartest moment, much like the fingernail polish. Anyway,
Well, I guess that's
1 second. Hey, Naomi, you need to do the trash cans upstairs in the bathrooms, okay? Empty them out and put new trash bags in.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, I'm glad you're gonna do it.
Yes, right now when you say on this.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So-
do it. She's like, I'm gonna do it. She just sits there and looks at me. Like, go do it. She's like, I'm just, writing down what you're saying.
Just trying to be obedient.
Oh, I think she was preaching to her little heart there in that moment.
Good for her. So funny. What are you making for dinner tonight?
I have not decided. I actually thought I might just go tacos tonight.
Always a good choice. Tacos are always a good choice.
I know they've been wanting some. I have made some chicken tacos, but my husband was wanting some beef tacos. He likes the hard shell beef tacos. I think he wants me to basically make Taco Bell.
By the way,
Gotcha.
What's up?
we only have enough dog food right today.
Okay. Just write it down and start a list, and I'll go pick some up. I have to take my car to the shop.
Or you can tell Omi since she's really good at making.
It's fine. It's just from where I got rear-ended. He's like, is the car okay? I'm like, yeah, no, it's just.
Ready for school?
Anyway, so
All right, get to it,
yeah,
girl.
I was thinking maybe tacos, but I don't know. I haven't put full
You haven't
thought
settled
into
your
it.
soul on it.
Well,
Well,
tacos
I
are
could-
the easy thing, right? Tacos are so easy.
Right.
You can just throw that together in no time, but
As long as you have the ingredients. That's always my thing. I don't usually have certain ingredients in the house, like produce. I feel like I need to buy produce in advance because it goes bad so fast. So if I'm gonna make tacos tomorrow, then I'm not gonna get it until I absolutely need the produce.
see, I typically always have the stuff for tacos in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing I always have available.
Taco
And
ingredients.
me and my husband love tacos, and my kids love them too, but they don't they don't have the deep appreciation we have for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll be like, tacos, thank you. They're thankful, but you can just tell they're like, our parents love tacos.
Man, I love me a good taco too. I have chicken drumsticks out of the freezer, and I am going to try and Pinterest up a recipe for dinner tonight. I was telling you, this is the time of year that I just really feel inspired to try new recipes. Come winter time, all I want to do is stay home and find new recipes for dinners.
No, it's
I don't
true.
know what it is, but it's the thing that it warms my heart. It feels like this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be in my home. I'm supposed to be making fun dinners, and it's the thing that I can look forward to at the end of a cold, wintry, gloomy day. I don't know. So that's my plan. My plan is to make a plan, but I don't know what my plan is yet. I just
Yeah,
know the
no,
plan
I
includes
do. So
chicken drumsticks.
there is something I want to learn how to make that I don't think you'll be on board with.
Okay.
I don't think you'll like it. But there is something I want to learn to make because my husband loves it so much. I think you call them heroes, but it's spelled with a G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it depends
So-
on who you're asking, but yes, it's lamb, isn't it?
So yeah, it's but I guess you can get where it's like a beef and lamb mixture. Anyways, my husband loves these. And so we have a Sam's Club membership, and I went to Sam's Club and they had these little kits for super cheap. So I bought 2 of them because I thought we have service at our church in the evening because our church uses another church.
Mhm.
And we don't have our own building yet. And so it's an hour away. So if I don't do a crock pot meal, then I kind of want to have a plan of something fairly easy when I come home to make for dinner.
Right.
Because by the time we get home, everybody's starving, which I just feel like is in general with after every church worship for everybody. Anyway, so I got these kits and we cooked them and they were pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, okay, yeah. And so my husband's like, I really want you to learn how to make this. So now I'm like, okay, I kind of need to learn how to make these.
What is the thing that you wouldn't know how to make? What
I have no idea about lamb at all. And I mean, the kit came with meat, but you just kind of warmed it up on the skillet. You didn't have to, it's really thin and stuff. So I don't think it'd be terribly hard. but I guess there were like extra ingredients that you can get to put in, like cucumber and stuff, because they kind of go in like this, like almost like a pita shell. It might be a pita. And then there's like a sauce you put in there, which, you know, I could learn how to make that. Anyways, so it's like I kind of got to figure out, because he was like, oh, I wish we had cucumber. I was like, I didn't even know you put cucumber and stuff in these things. But apparently you do. So I'm like, I need to like kind of do some research and learn a little bit more about this and see if
You
I
know,
can.
someone out there knows and is like yelling at their like phone right now, trying to
Oh,
tell
I'm
you
sure.
how to do it.
But instead of yelling at their phone, they need to like start messaging.
Yeah, find Sondra on Facebook and give her the education. There's surely like a
Yeah.
Greek woman, some Middle Eastern women out there who know how to do this.
Like make the sauce and everything, because I like to, like, you know, the sauce
This
is
is the
really good.
thing.
I'm like,
I feel like you could probably Pinterest and figure it out, and that'd be one way. But it'd be far better if someone's grandma came from like Istanbul or something and could like tell you how to do it. Do you know what I mean?
That's always like like so much better. It's like how, you know, like I could have Pinterest how to make chicken and dumplings, but I had my friend who like grew up making them. Like her mom made them, and she was like, here, I'll show you, just do this. And like her recipe was far, like the seasonings she put in her dumplings, like nothing I read said to put seasonings in your dumplings or anything. And I was like, this is so much better.
Yeah, you just gotta know. You gotta know how. Like someone has to teach you. This is like a Titus 2 thing, right?
Well, and isn't it like so much more fun to have someone teach you? Like
Food.
the times we've got together and we've cooked meals together and taught each other. I mean, it's so much more, it's just more fun. It puts a whole another level of connection to it.
Yeah, true. It's very true. Well,
you do your chores. You're all done? You gotta vacuum the stairs.
I have a very good crock pot recipe that I made for our Sabbath dinner on Sunday, like last Sunday.
Which you still have not sent to me.
Yeah, I need to, because it was so easy and so good. Like I was a little heavy-handed on the seasonings because I like seasonings. And my friend who is not white was like, you're the only white girl I know who, you know, isn't afraid of seasonings. And so she and I were just in there like seasoning it up real good. So I would say
because Erica's soul is like, I don't know, who's somebody that like really likes spice, like spicy spice stuff.
I don't know.
Like what country? Like
I know it's not England because English food is bland.
Well, I'm just saying like Mexicans or I don't know.
I mean, my heritage is very mixed, so
I feel like you can take spice like nobody's business.
Right.
Like a hot spice.
Oh yeah. No, this isn't spicy like that kind of spicy though. This is like lots of flavor kind of spicy. Yeah, like it's very flavorful. Maybe that's the way. But I do like spicy. You're right. I do love me some spicy.
I know, because like I like spice too, but you can take like I'm like, no girl, I'm obviously way whiter than you. Yeah. You can handle a lot more spice than I can.
So all that to say, like I would send you the recipe, but I would say be heavy-handed on the spices. Like if it says, 2 teaspoons of something, I'd go 4. Because it can handle it. Like it's one of those recipes that can like very easily, and it needs it. Like it needs, because it's essentially chicken thighs, and chicken thighs are the more flavorful of the chicken, but it's still like chicken needs a lot of like spice. I feel like.
Well, yeah. No, yeah, because that's like what, like with my dumplings, when I made the dumplings last night, like she puts a little bit of onion powder, garlic powder, parsley, and then, salt and pepper in the dough when you make it. And I put just a little bit at first. So I was scared I was going to make it too salty or whatnot. And then when I first cooked those and I pulled one out to try, I was like, oh no, we need to go like heavy handed with this. Because I like a lot of flavor in my food too. I like a lot of seasoning because I don't want to eat something that's bland.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to eat bland food? That's not fun.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, it's a good recipe. It's delicious. It has like sun-dried tomatoes. It has like 35 cloves of garlic, which also I didn't call for, but you can never go too far with garlic. I had 2 crock pots, and in between the 2 crock pots, it was 35 cloves of garlic, and I smelled of garlic from peeling those dang cloves.
That's
I think I
awesome, though.
probably still smell them, but it was delicious. It was really good, and it went over rice, so it was really good to like feed a bunch of people. I think we had 30 people on Sunday, so like
Oh wow,
it was
you guys had a lot.
it was good because it fed a lot of people, and I'm always looking for like those kind of recipes that will stretch far, are warm and inviting, and like most people love chicken. It's not like a weird thing to feed, like kids will eat chicken generally, you know. So
Was that your biggest group yet for the Sabbath?
no, I think our biggest group was 36.
Okay, I thought that would have been your biggest group.
No, I think 36 is our record.
No, you need to go put on jeans. We're not wearing sweats all day. And then you can do your Bible study, and then we'll talk about it. we got a piano, you know. So thanks to you, we got a piano.
You're welcome. I did all the heavy lifting today.
You did. You and Lila were the inspiration there, and it is the shiny new toy for sure in my house.
Great.
And so we're gonna skip all the things and just go straight to playing piano. Forget about getting, dressed. Forget about doing our Bible study. We're gonna play the piano.
That's awesome. It's such a great thing to have in the house.
It is.
I'm just so happy about that.
I know he's asleep upstairs in his room. Really? My son's like, where's Henry? He's asleep in his room.
Like a big boy.
Who would have thought it would ever happen?
All of a sudden, one day you arrive, and it feels like your whole life has been working up to that point.
He really has been the hardest one to get to sleep in his crib. Like all my other kids, like I did not have a problem.
That's because he's the baby of 4 kids. Of course, everyone wants to hold him and love him.
They always say, people will say, you'll know when it's your last. You'll know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how do you know? And I'm like, oh no, you know, this is how you know.
Yeah.
Because everything is harder with him. Like not in like a he's difficult way, but in a he is by far spoiled way. He is for sure spoiled. He is the most loved out of all of them. And it's not like because of the parents, it's because they all love him. It's
right. Well, they're all old enough now to help. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're
all old enough to engage on a different level than when they were all babies. And they had each other who were also babies. Now they're all older and he's a baby, and that's fun.
Oh yeah, no, it's cracks because like I always left my kids on the floor crying, learning to crawl. Like you have to kind of like let them fuss a little bit. And I'm like, I'll let him. And like this morning, here comes Naomi, and she's like, oh Henry, I'll play with you. And I'm like, let him be. And here she is. She's rolling him over, moving him to where he wants to be, giving him the toys. And I'm like, Naomi, he's got to learn to crawl. She's like, but he doesn't like it. There's lots of things in life he's not going to like that he's going to have to learn to do.
Truth. That is true.
So yeah, that's how you know. You just know.
That's so funny.
Anyway, so besides cooking, I've been getting my house in order since we had all the appointments and everything organized. And let me just tell you, when you're at home, in your home, and you're doing the things the Lord has ordained for you to do, and you're taking care of the kids, and you're getting, cleaning the house and making the food, does it not just make your heart sing for joy?
It really does. There comes a point where it's like, you just know it's time for like a reorganization. Like, no, things, we are all, our attitudes need to be adjusted. Mom's, yours. The whole house needs to be shifted around to make this more functional. And once you do that, it's really quite wonderful. Sorry, I'm putting my lipstick on. That's why I sound stupid right now.
It really is, because it has been quite the season of so many things going on in our house that we don't typically have going on. And so, having the preemie baby and having all the appointments for him and stuff. And which we are so grateful that he is so healthy and that we can go to these appointments and get good outcomes and stuff. But sometimes when you get back into the house and then you realize, oh, everybody was kind of out of sorts because things were all kind of
because we
going
were out of
crazy.
routine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you because it's not like I'm neglecting everything. Like the house still gets, it's just everybody's always go, 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 go. And then once you're like settled in your home and you're doing the normal routine and hey, okay, we're going to do this, let's do this. And mom's making sure for sure it's all getting done and it's getting done correctly.
Well,
and,
I feel like everyone understands that. Like everyone has busy phases in life. But when you can get back to your routine and that like sense of relief, everyone can relate to that.
Oh,
and it doesn't even really matter like what personality you are, because both you and I are more type A. And so like we very much enjoy a clean house. We very much enjoy order. Like nothing makes me happier than organizing a closet and making sure that like we purge the things that we don't need. Everything's color coded. Everything is, like I love that. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but I love it.
No, I feel you. I love that. And I tell you, in a little side note with that, when you have a teenage boy, it is so hard to go into that closet. So I will go into his closet. I will rearrange his clothes because I'm so tired. And so I'll put all the t-shirts together and all the long sleeves. And I'm like, okay, don't color coordinate. Walk away, walk away, walk away. And then like, he don't
let him
care.
live.
He don't care.
Yep. Right.
I'll be like,
my oldest daughter.
And he's like, yeah, it was great, Mom. Thanks.
My oldest daughter is the same way though. Like she loves to organize. She at like 7 years old would organize my silverware drawer for fun. Like she was that kid. So
I love
between she and I, like we love a tightly run ship. But not everyone's that way. There are some people who are like much more laid back and like,
and they're good for our soul. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, and there's a Christian virtue, I think, to cleanliness. Not that like, the whole cleanliness is next to godliness. Obviously, that's not in the Bible, but there is something to like good stewardship. And that's all we're saying.
I mean,
right? Like,
I'm pretty sure I've read it in there once or twice.
We would like to find it in there, that's for sure. If we could figure out a way how, we would try and find it. But like, we're not saying that everyone has to have the same standard of cleanliness, but like cleanliness is a good virtue, right? And it's when you believe that you need to steward your home and manage your home, be faithful in your home, because that's just what the Bible says. And so, but like how you do that can vary greatly, and everyone is like a little bit different. And I think that's good because you can like really learn from other people great tips and tricks.
Oh, for sure. Yep. And it's been quite the morning, like getting my daughter back on task.
Here, Nora. There you go. What was that? Sorry.
It's been quite the morning getting my daughter back on task on that. Because, just like she does everything for Henry, the boys will gladly do everything for her.
Yeah.
So like Lucas's job in the mornings is to like vacuum the upstairs. And Blaine vacuums the downstairs, and Naomi's supposed to vacuum the stairs.
Okay.
So they all have like their different tasks, And but you have to clean your own room, and you need to, when you wake up, you need to get dressed, make your bed, clean your room, so that the next child can come in and do their task. And it's just, here comes Lucas. I look in Naomi's room, and he's like putting her stuffed animals away. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, putting Naomi's stuffed animals away for her. And I'm like, no, all of you guys are doing each other's things. Why? Like, you all have to learn. And then she's like, you heard her on the stairs. She's like, I'm going to listen. Sure you are.
It's a good point. It's a good point though, because a lot of times women get really weird about this kind of stuff, and we think that my way is the only way, right? And we are proverbially doing that. We're cleaning each other's houses, thinking like, well, if I were you, I would make sure that I only use this floor, but only a Norwex cloth for me. I would never use or whatever it is, right? Like we can be like very busy in our minds doing someone else's chores rather than just realizing like you probably got enough on your own plate. You probably got enough of your own work that you don't need to be meddling in someone else's chores. But we do. But when it comes to housekeeping, I don't think it's like, I think I've learned a lot from you. I've learned a lot, just helpful tips and tricks, how to do things more efficiently. Those kind of things are good, but we need to just be careful that we speak when we're asked and not butting in, telling everyone how to manage their own selves. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's easy to, I have like my cousin who's a little bit younger than me or whatnot.
Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? I think we might have lost her.
I'm here.
I think we might have lost her.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now you're back.
Okay, I don't know what happened. I think it muted itself or something. Because I muted it and then unmuted it and then it came back.
Oh,
So
maybe
I don't know what that.
You needed a second to catch up or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I have a cousin who's younger than me, and we always chit chat and stuff and everything. And I always,
We're really
I'll say little things. Like, we talk about her kids or whatnot. And I'll be like, well, I'm like, but you got to figure out how it's going to work for your household. Like, here's my little piece of advice, but you got to figure out what works for you.
Are you there? Hello?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh,
Are you here?
I'm
Are
here.
you there?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. That's weird.
All right. I think you're coming in clear now.
Well, it's about time.
What does the Bible say about managing your own household, Sondra?
It says you should do it. You should manage your household. In what sense?
Well, I'm thinking of verses like, let everyone see to it that he's managing his own affairs, right? Like, everyone just kind of mind your own business. You handle your own job.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I always I think of I think of obviously Proverbs 31. I think that probably comes to everybody's mind. But then, in Timothy, where, I always think about the woman, the verse where it's like, quit gossiping and go take care of your house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are always the ones that come to my mind. I'm thinking you probably have something in mind other than like Proverbs 31 or Timothy.
No, I was just basically thinking like the Bible talks a lot about like, picking up your cross and following Christ.
Oh, yeah.
And what does that look like? It means like laying a lot of certain things down too, because when you become a mother and you start managing a home, there's a whole lot of things you're going to have to put down in order to pick up that cross. One of them being like a perfectly kept home. Because if you're like crazy about, sorry, I'm eating, about like keeping everything perfect, you're probably not actually managing your home well.
Well, and that is
you are, and there's the illusion, right?
Yeah. And there's that you remember when we lived at Bragg and we had what we called the Harry Potter closet?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it was exactly what you would think, like a deep closet that went under the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember because I am a very clean person and I am constantly going and cleaning, and there's just different tricks I've learned, like just different stuff I've learned to help keep my house clean and stuff. But I always get the comment like, oh my goodness, your house is so clean. But I can remember like telling people like everybody has like their areas that aren't as clean as me. Like, you think my house is so clean, but you haven't seen my Harry Potter closet.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where everything goes to die. If Sondra doesn't like it, we're just gonna shove it in that closet if I don't know what to do with it. And
For a
if you
lot
look
of
in that
women, it's
closet,
like
a
the
big
bedroom.
mess. Yeah.
Like for a lot of women, like their bedroom is usually where everything goes to die.
Yeah, and see, that hasn't been the case for me because I had read after me and Scotty got married, I had read this thing about like how your bedroom should always be like this peaceful place for you and your husband to come together, and if it's like chaotic and messy, then it's not like a romantic feeling. So my thing was
Right.
like, oh, I don't want that. I always want it to be like this place for me and him and stuff, or so I'm gonna make sure that my bedroom is always clean and nice. And so that I've always tried to do that. So I didn't want everything to die in my bedroom. So it died in the Harry Potter closet.
When I was hosting, hold on one second. You can go, yeah. When I was hosting on Sunday, at dinner, the ladies were in the kitchen with me, helping me out. We were all cooking together. It was really fun, actually. But someone had asked for like a scissors or I don't know, something. And I was like, oh, it's in the junk drawer. Oh no, I know what it was. What they had done is they had asked, oh, are those drawers functioning? Because I have like 5 very small drawers on the side of my dishwasher. And like, those even work? And I was like, oh yeah, those are my junk drawers. And they were laughing and they're like, drawers? And I was like, listen, they're small. So the 5 equals 1 actual junk drawer. And we were like laughing or whatever, and I was like showing them my junk drawer. So like those are the kind of things where like it's very human to have junk drawers. And I don't think it's wrong to try and organize your junk drawer. I think it's good, and
No, and I would
even
like
ordering things, right?
Yeah, everybody goes. I'm sure you go through them occasionally and pull out the trash and
Not nearly as often as I should.
Right, but like in a Pinterest, Instagram world where people take pictures of just areas,
All the perfect.
all the perfect, like I can remember me and you talking about we were looking at like it was on Instagram at like houses or something, and I was like, oh, that's really cute, and you were like, hey, just remember they haven't shown the full room. That's just a section of the room. So like that's in your point in the picture was like that's going to be hard to do throughout a whole room. Like it's a cute little, like a spot, but like the whole room it would be hard to do that in a whole room. But that always kind of stuck with me because I'm like, that's so true, because that's what they do. And in every magazine that you see, in every Instagram post, it's either just the room or just the spot. And everybody has their junk drawer. Everybody has their Harry Potter closet. And yes, there is a thing about like, we should like keep our houses clean. We should take care of our homes. But just because you have a junk drawer you didn't get to today doesn't mean you were a total failure.
Right.
There's
always going to be this, and this is like we're post-mills. We believe in reordering, culture and society, and these poor chickens really, it's cold out here. We believe in like all that. We believe that that's our post-mill responsibility and our God-given task to reorder creation into the image of heaven. That's what we're trying to do here. And our little bit of the earth that we are trying to reorder begins in the home, right?
Yeah.
But we also know that there is still a whole lot of sin in the world, and the world is still a fallen place. And when you clean up that junk drawer, inevitably, someone's going to start jostling through it, and it's going to be messy again, and you're going to have to do it again.
And you just keep trucking along, you keep doing it.
Right. And this is what I think sometimes, especially if we're, big on Pinterest or social media, or we have a friend who just really seems to have their life together, it can kind of feel like, why do I keep going back to the junk drawer? Like, why is it that my Harry Potter closet he's getting crazy and full and needs to be reordered again. And this is where like my encouragement is just keep being faithful in it, right? Just keep doing the faithful thing. You don't need to be stressed about it. You don't need to be it's not a competition between you and your friend or you and Pinterest. Just you be faithful. You do what you need to do. Going back to the kids analogy, right? Like you don't need to be worried about someone else's stuffed animal arrangement on their bed. You just need to do what you need to do.
You just need to do your part. I mean, I can remember when, because I do have a tendency to be very obsessive compulsive about cleaning and stuff. And
Sondra's house is always immaculate too, by the way. Like always.
It is not. I can.
No, it is.
It is not. But I can remember after I had my oldest Blaine, and I was, I did fairly well keeping up, but I would get up early in the morning and I would clean and I would clean and clean to make sure my house was clean. And then I had Lucas, and now I had two. And then Lucas started like moving, and it was not the thing. And I can remember my husband came home one day, and I was just like,
work on your math, please, Lila.
And he's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I can't keep the house clean with two kids." I was like, I can't keep up with them and like keep up with the laundry. He's like, it's okay. Like, what do you feel like needs to get done? I can help you with that, and then let's have a conversation. So he like, in the moment, it was like laundry and like little stupid stuff, and he helped me with it. And then he's like, okay, let me get the kid, we ate dinner, we got the kids to bed, and then he's like, okay, let's have a conversation. He's like, you do realize like not every single thing has to be done every single day. Like there's no way you're gonna be able to do everything anymore. Like you have two kids. Like you're just gonna have to like prioritize, and then like if you can't fold all the laundry today, that's fine. Well, it'll be there tomorrow. We'll get to it. And if you need something, like let me know and I can help out and stuff. Like he was like so loving and so sweet in the moment. And I can remember thinking, but why?
Right.
Like this is what I want. And that's just life though, right? Like that's the thing, is like you do just have to be faithful, and you have to, you make it like what needs to be done in your home, or what needs to be taken care of, and you have to prioritize, and then just continue to be faithful and come back to the junk drawer, come back to that closet that needs to be reorganized for the 15th time, and or whatever it might be. And being faithful in those things is being faithful unto the Lord, because that's what he's giving you to do.
Right. Yep. And that's the thing, is like we make everything about us, and women are really good at taking everything and making everything so personal when it really doesn't need to be personal at all. And I'm constantly telling my children that, and even myself and my husband and I talk about it often, like this is not a personal offense, right? Like just because someone left their clothes on the floor, and I have told them in times past, you may not put your clothes on the floor, they need to go in the hamper or in the washer or whatever, and they do it. I don't need to take it as a personal offense. I can remind carefully and be like, we're going to work on obedience, and there might be discipline issues or whatever, but it's not personal. And so when our house gets dirty, it's not like the house is like working against us. But I feel like a lot of times women feel that way, like the house and us are out of fellowship.
No, that's exactly how I felt. And it wasn't like, my toddler and my, elementary school child were like, had it out to get me, and we're like, I am just gonna make mom's life so hard. I'm not gonna let her do the laundry or the dishes or anything.
They were having powwows about making sure the laundry didn't make it in the hamper.
For sure, it was nothing of that sort. It had everything to do with me. But I can remember later on, listening to Nancy Wilson talk about her Sabbath meals, and how you don't worry about the tablecloth or the dishes. Like if a dish breaks, it breaks. Like things happen, and you don't, if like the tablecloth gets stained, it gets stained, but like all the dirty dishes and all like the little stains and all these things, like you're doing it all so that it can be enjoyed and be messed up again. You're cleaning your house so that
I have a funny story that goes perfectly with this. So you ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
So I served that meal, and it had rice with it. And at the end of the evening, because I have like one big long table that stretches like the span of my like dining room, And the kids are usually on one end because I put out like a paper tablecloth on the kids' table so they can sit and draw, which is good for like very small kids who struggle with sitting still for a long period of time. They can be distracted a little bit. Anyway, so like I had moved from my spot at the adult side of the table and looked at the ceiling of the kids side of the table, and I don't know how, but it looked like someone was just like doing spitballs with rice all over my ceiling.
You got rice all over your ceiling.
It was the funniest looking thing. Like it just looked like my ceiling had a disease or something. But anyway, we were like all the adults just had to like come over and look at it and laugh because like the kids were just having a good old time, and I'm sure they weren't being naughty. I don't think they actually were like spitballing. I'm sure they were just talking and it flung up on the ceiling, or who knows, you know how kids are.
Oh yeah, there's no telling.
But in that moment, it like I could be upset by it and be like, my ceiling, nah, nah, nah. Or I can laugh and be like, look at these kids who are having great fellowship with each other. Isn't that wonderful? And that's what it should be. It is wonderful. And maybe, you know, next time I'll be like, hey kids, try not to get rice on the ceiling, and I'll like laugh and joke about it with them. But like ultimately, the next day, dried up and it came off, and you can't even see in my ceiling. Like it's not even a big deal at all. And how often is it though that we get upset about the rice on the ceiling when the next day it'll just dry up and fall off anyway, and we didn't need to be upset about it at all?
It's so true. It's 100% true. That's exactly what we do. We get all worked up, and you know, it's not a big thing. And
it's not a big thing.
It's not a big thing. And there's seasons. There's seasons where they're going to be toddlers, and there's going to be toys all over your house, and you're going to be picking them up a million times a day. And there's, you know, and the baby's going to be eating and throwing its, you know, cheese puffs or whatever all over the floor, or spaghetti or whatever, and you're going to have to clean up. And then before you know it, they're going to be like 17 years old, and you're going to be wishing you had a few more years of them throwing spaghetti.
Yeah, but maybe not that part.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe just the other part.
Yeah, I mean, but
your point still stands.
But you know, you're gonna think, man, I wish I had a few more of those younger years with them, and you know, and they're gonna be more of an adult who's like, hey, mom, you want me to clean the kitchen for you? If you know,
my dog just got north.
If they're as lovely as mine is, but you know,
Nora,
it'll be different seasons and different times.
And you
have to be faithful through it all. And
no, Dixie, come on, come get your sandwich.
Do you know what Dolores called you to do?
She just got the corner of the bread. You'll be fine. You can eat through it. Oh,
you got Lila? Or Nora?
No, that was Nora. No, you're naughty. You're gonna go in your bed.
It reminded me of when we were at the beach that time with Lila with her sandwich and the seagull.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. That was hilarious. Lila was what, 5? No, Nora was 3 when you met her, right? She had just turned 3. No, she just turned 2.
Nora was 2 or 3 when I met you. I think she was 2, and then she turned 3 that year.
Okay.
Possibly.
I can't remember. Anyway, whatever it was, she was little, so Lila would have been 5 or 6 because they're 3 years apart.
Yeah.
So she was just a little peanut, and Lila was always like very slender and like small for her age anyway. So she was very like just a petite little thing, and she's sitting on the like Myrtle Beach with a sandwich, and this seagull comes right up, and it literally just like lifts the entire sandwich right up from her, like it was just funny. Like just taking the sandwich, the whole sandwich, and she just started crying, and she was so upset by it, and that was a personal offense for her.
I know, it was so funny. It was so funny. She was like, my sandwich. And we're like, we'll make you another one. It's okay.
Oh, that was really funny.
Oh, it was like towards the end of the day too. So they were like plumb wore out as well. But yeah, no, hearing Dixie take the corner of the sandwich, like it just brought me back to like the seagull swooping down and taking Lila's sandwich from her.
Oh, good times. Lots of funny memories. What a joy. Anyway, we have done a lot of chit chat about, I don't know, useless stuff, maybe useful stuff. Hopefully this is encouraging.
I mean, I'm encouraged.
That's good.
I'm gonna keep taking care of my house.
I mean, I'm folding laundry now, so none of it. You know what? Actually, this is before we wrap up. Laundry is one of those things that is never done. And just when you think you're done, like, oh, my laundry is all caught up, I have no more washer, dryer, empty clothes put away, you realize, but I'm wearing clothes right now. So in about like 6
Yep.
hours, I'm gonna have more.
I
It's
just
never done.
had this conversation with someone the other day, and I was like, they had gotten to the bottom of their laundry pile, and they were so excited. And then I think their kid got sick or something happened, and so they had like a whole bunch of laundry. And I was like, you should have known because you got to the bottom of the basket. Like if you get to the bottom of the basket, something's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Like there's gonna be a spill on the tablecloth. There's gonna be a kid who has an accident. There's gonna, somebody's gonna get sick, and you're gonna have like a whole new mountain of laundry. Like you don't, you gotta be careful. Be careful what you wish for there.
You just know it's gonna happen. But isn't that just like what we're talking about? Like you will just have to remain faithful throughout, and you're just gonna have to know the work is never gonna be done. The laundry is never actually gonna be done. It never will be done. You will be doing laundry until you die. Not to like
unless
be
unless you did become a nudist or something.
which I don't also recommend.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that as well. That would be a whole other issue to deal with. But yeah, otherwise you get down to the bottom of the laundry basket and it turns out you're wearing laundry that you're gonna have to wash later.
So I'm one of 5 kids, and my mom's mom, when she would come over, and we were all very little, her, she's a lovely Christian woman, and I still talk to her frequently, and she's one of my greatest mentors. But her service to my mom, her ministry to my mother, was to match our socks. So, I mean, she would fold laundry too, laundry, which there always was, but like, my mom would just throw all the socks into like a bucket, and my grandma would come over and she would match our socks. And so all that to say, I hope I'm the grandma that comes over and matches socks. So when my kids are out of the house and my laundry is easier to manage, I hope I'm the grandma that goes over and folds socks for my kids, for my daughters and daughter-in-law. Because isn't that what life is about? You just keep serving people, and you just keep loving people, and you just keep your hand to the plow, and you know that your work is not in vain. So that's my 2 cents. Anyway, I have nothing further to say. And are you good, Sondra?
Well, that's enough of that. That is enough of that. I ain't hearing any more of that story.
She cut out. Alrighty. Well, Sondra's gonna have to go back and re-listen to this episode so she can hear my story that all of you heard.
I hope it turned out well. Bye.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, bye.